In our rich and vibrant culture, the loving, living, and sharing goes beyond the nuclear family. It embraces the extended family very, very warmly.
Indeed, Patience, you're so right. This warm embrace encompasses that special group of people where your spouse, your partner, indeed your helpmate comes from. You know who they are?
Yeah.
Your in-laws.
Indeed, yes. In-laws hold a central place in our family dynamics. Oftentimes, they shape how relationships thrive, particularly in Africa and, of course, in Nigeria.
Ooh, yes, so our great country. We also answer present, never written, unapologetically Nigerian.
Yes, so.
You know that gone are the days when our children choose to work from a local government area, their community, their state, or even their nation. Nowadays, our children, they've gone global. If they're from Nigeria, they're going to China. They're going to, they're going to Singapore. And they're learning the love language of those countries in the hope that their partner, their spouse will learn theirs of our great country, Nigeria. But what never changes is that amazing extended union that embraces once again in-laws.
Yes, yes. Where a family exists, in-laws do exist. From the very supportive mother-in-law to the wise father-in-law. But we do know that in our part of the world, these relationships are steeped. Their roles are actually steeped in tradition. But how have they evolved given how globalized our world is today?
Global or no global, Nigeria, not the carry last. So if you are bringing your spouse to Nigeria, you'll be asking yourself, who will tell my American mother-in-law about Omugwo?
Okay.
Patience. Anyway, our aunties will, I think. Who will tell the Brazilian father about the list and about the bride price? But what is really important is that the dynamics, though they are different, love, companionship, the ability to yearn for a union that will last and stand the test of time is synonymous everywhere in the world. So we welcome them as long as their interests are good. On this beautiful morning, we ask you to please walk into the Weekend Deal studio. Accompany us on this interesting journey where we focus on in-laws from Nigeria and everywhere else in the world. My name is Thelma Obaze. Welcome.
And I am Patience Eloyi Abba. We will focus on the responsibilities, expectations, and the realities because it is your favorite weekend show, Weekend Deal, coming to you from the network service of the NTA. You know how we start the show, right? We'll first go to the newsroom, and I do know that Sawa is waiting to take us through the morning news. Good morning to you, beautiful sister.
Good morning, ladies. Here are highlights of the news. Federal government, with the support of World Health Organization, are upgrading and revitalizing 88 primary healthcare centers in Nasarawa State to provide quality healthcare services in rural communities. Aliyu Tijani reports that the reforms seeks to target increased access to healthcare services in the state.
The intervention is being implemented under the Immunization Plus and Malaria Progress by Accelerating Coverage and Transforming Service Impact Project, which aims to improve facilities across 780 primary healthcare centers in the state. Equipment have been provided to 147 primary healthcare centers, while 88 primary healthcare centers are currently being upgraded. The stakeholders' engagement is to assess progress made in the implementation of the impact project.
We want to double all the indicators we are tracking, both maternal child indicator and malaria indicator. We want to more than double those indicators.
However, stakeholders decry low patronage of rural population in accessing primary healthcare services.
PSC posed a strategic point of blocking most of these diseases through proper vaccination.
By end of 2025, we'll reach to that 147 primary health care that is similar to the whole of Nasarawa State.
The project will end by the end of the year. The implementing players commit to scale up interventions across all primary healthcare centers in the state. Aliyu Tijani, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dili Alake, while at the National Assembly to defend the ministry's 2025 budget proposal, said the ministry in 2024 tripled its projected revenue from 11 billion to more than 37 billion naira. This information prompted the committee to support increased allocation to the sector to further tap its potentials. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali report on this engagement and that between the Joint Committee on Trade and Investment with the Minister Jumoke Oduwale.
The need to diversify the economy of Nigeria away from fossil fuel. The whole world is transiting from fossil fuel to green energy. And the ingredients of green energy are the minerals and the critical metals that we have. So creating this ministry was to harness the potentials of this sector for the benefit of Nigerians. From ocular proofs and visibility of actions from the ministry, we have not been sleeping.
No doubt, the vision of the administration of President Bola Tinubu for the solid mineral sector is yielding desired outcomes. After the minister reeled out the achievements of the sector in the last 1 year, the lawmakers insist that government should leverage on its potentials to grow the economy.
We've all agreed that data is important. How do we drive exploration with 9 billion? The time has come more than ever where you have to start taking bold steps, and those bold steps must start with this sector.
At another budget defense session with the Minister of Trade and Investment, Jumoke Oduwale, the Joint Committee wants federal governments to channel more efforts to expand trade relations and improve investments to drive job creation.
The projection of 2.4 billion is abysmally low. It is very, very low. What you need to do is to look at your revenue lines and see those that you can grow.
We'll ensure that the ministry is enabled to play its vital role in facilitating the ease of doing business through enhancing productivity and competitiveness. This ministry remains committed to achieving its vision of promoting economic growth, creating jobs, and generating wealth for all Nigerians.
Harness the nation's resources for socio-economic development of the country through equitable allocation of funds in line with the fiscal policies of the federal government to meet the yearnings and aspirations of Nigerians.
The ministry was, however, asked to submit more documents to the Joint Committee for further scrutiny. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Now, the Nigerian Air Force is not just an institution, but a family, and families grow together when they share their stories, struggles, and their victories in a bid to ensure that the experiences of veterans are not forgotten, but used as a guide to inspire and lead the force into the future. The Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, had a parley with some Air Force veterans in Abuja. Defense correspondent Olajide Bello reports.
Veterans often symbolize the importance of teamwork, leadership and accountability, as these are the essential skills developed through military training and experience. One of such is Air Vice Marshal Olatokunbo Adesonya, the former Chief of Logistics, Headquarters Nigerian Air Force, and Managing Director, Aeronautics Engineering Technical Services Limited, domiciled in the Nigerian Air Force. For him, the watchword for retirement is preparation.
So one must always have a life of purpose. And it's also been a period for me to give back to the society. And that's why every opportunity I've had, I've been able to educate either on national security issues or other issues.
This gathering, therefore, by the Nigerian Air Force and its veterans is to further strengthen the synergy, to continue to tap into the vast experiences embedded in them and to reassure them of the Nigerian Air Force commitment to their welfare.
Each and every one of us here answer the clarion call to defend our dear nation and so deserve to be celebrated. The Nigerian Air Force and indeed the Armed Forces of Nigeria will continue to draw from a wealth of experience and continue to build on your legacies.
The Air Force is evolving, but it would always stand strong, grounded in the unshakable principles that had been instilled by veterans who had built it. Olajide Bello, NTA News.
Moving on to politics now, the leadership of Both to Both, a support group under the ruling All Progressives Congress (APC), is urging Nigerians to be patient with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led administration as steps are being taken to address the prevailing economic hardship in the country. The leadership gives this indication while distributing palliatives to APC members in Ndemili South local government area of Anambra State. Steve Lona Nwokolo has details.
The group, while acknowledging the hardship being faced by Nigerians, expresses optimism that the present administration has the capacity to turn the situation around for the better. According to the organization, the government is working assiduously to ensure that the burden of reforms being implemented does not affect the poor and vulnerable. The group insists that what the government needs at this critical time is patience and cooperation of all.
Our own is to contribute and to tell our people to keep faith with Mr. President as he navigates the ship towards the promised land for all Nigerians.
What I'm trying to say for me to tell my people from Idemili South, Anambra State, for them to give Mr. President time.
Our President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is doing is so fantastic. This parity will go a lot for the masses.
The organization is currently distributing palliatives to APC members in the 774 local government areas in Nigeria. The initiative, it says, is aimed at strengthening the president's support base across the country. From Nobi, in the Ndemili South local government area of Anambra State, Steve Lonai Nwokolo, NTA News.
Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has described the death of the eldest son of Jigawa State Governor Abdul Wahab Umar Namadi coming shortly after the passing of the governor's mother as a difficult test of faith. She was speaking during a condolence visit to the state governor Malam Umar Namadi at the government house in Dutse, Jigawa State. Correspondent Adeni Taiwo reports.
Braving the extreme weather, Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu is in the state to condole with the governor, Malam Umar Namadi, and his family over their losses. The mood at the state government house, Dutse, where she was received by the governor and his wife, Hadiza Namadi, was sober, the loss weighing so heavy. So, the First Lady offered words of comfort on behalf of herself and the President, sending her condolences to the government and people of the state at the council chamber. The First Lady highlights the need for the grieving family to surrender to the will of God.
Anytime you can call any of us home. And I believe that we say, oh, we want to live long, but God is the only one that assigned time to each and every one of us. And we believe that is Abdul Wahab's time. And we pray that God will comfort the mother, comfort the father as well, His Excellency.
Nothing happens without the knowledge and will of God, says the governor, as he appreciates the comfort offered his family by the visit of the First Lady.
You and Mr. President have done everything possible to comfort us. And I want to assure you that what you have done has really strengthened us, has given us more courage and more comfort. Like you said, what happens to us is an act of God, and nobody will question God.
Wife of the Vice President, Hajia Nana Shitima, offered a special prayer to God to grant the souls of the departed Arjana Fridaus and comfort to their grieving family. From Dutse, Jigawa State, Adeni Taiwo, NTA News.
And that's the news at this time. Weekend Deal continues shortly after this break.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, so much. Always great to listen to you disseminate information.
Okay, so I think it's time for us to go on our first break. It's all about the traditional roles of in-laws. Mother-in-law is supposed to do only omugwo. Our father-in-law is supposed to just advise and look the other way. What exactly are they doing now? We'll dive deep. So don't go away after the break.
It's time to honor the bravery and sacrifice of the Nigerian Armed Forces. Join us at the 2025 Armed Forces Remembrance Day. His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria, and Grand Patron of the Nigerian Legion, invites you to a series of events as we mark the 2025 Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration. In preparation for the main event, interdenominational church service will be held at the National Christian Center, Abuja, on Sunday, January 12, 2025 at 2 p.m. The main event, wreath-laying ceremony, will take place on Wednesday, January 15, 2025 at 8:30 a.m. at the National Arcade, Abuja. Let us come together to celebrate our compatriots who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our nation. Some bled, some were maimed, others paid the supreme price to serve our sovereign motherland. Armed Forces Remembrance Day 2025, appreciating the Nigerian Armed Forces.
Hey Nigeria, ready to breathe cleaner air and save money? Let's talk about gas. Drive with CNG, the smart, cost-effective choice. Fill up for less and travel further. Save money, save the planet. Switch to LPG for cooking. It's cleaner, healthier, and better for environment. Say goodbye to smoke and eye problems. Do you know Nigeria is a gas nation ranked 9th globally with over 209 trillion cubic feet of gas reserve? Gas isn't just for cooking and driving. It powers industries too. Cleaner, cheaper, and more efficient. And the best part, conversion centers are popping up everywhere. It's never been easier to switch to gas. Join the cleaner energy revolution. Choose LPG for cooking and CNG for your vehicles. Clean energy for brighter future. This message is brought to you by the Office of the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Gas, supported by the Nigeria Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, NMDPRA.
The federal government of Nigeria warns vandals of national assets, electricity transmission towers, cables, and other facilities to desist from this act of sabotage. Vandalism is a serious crime punishable under the law. Vandalizing electrical equipment will affect millions of Nigerians, including your loved ones. Remember that national assets belong to all of us, hence the need to protect them. Report all cases of suspicious movement around electrical facilities to security agencies. When you see something, say something. This message is from the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation in collaboration with the National Counter-Terrorism Center, NCTC, Office of the National Security Advisor.
Tuesday night football. Atalanta.
Samajic, shaping up to shoot! This is Zappacosta!
Juventus.
Conceição and Timothy Weah applies the finish.
Atalanta versus Juventus. Live on Sporty TV.
SportyBet sponsors coverage of the Italian Serie A.
From yesterday, when the focus was on the reason for tying the nuptial knot, is it love, money, great looks, or a combination of all? We're delving today into the role and impact of in-laws, whether they be from your great country Nigeria, from the African continent, or anywhere in the world. Does the role and interpretation change? Well, trust Francis now to set the ball rolling as usual with our background feature. Francis, what did you find out there? Please share.
In Nigerian culture, marriage is not just a union between two individuals. It is a bond between families. In-laws, as essential members of this extended family network, play important roles in the lives of married couples. While traditions surrounding in-laws remain significant, modern realities have reshaped some of these expectations. One of the most common challenges in Nigerian marriages is the delicate relationship between brides and their in-laws. These challenges may arise due to several factors.
Women are very, very possessive. They like privacy and they like to be given space to organize themselves and do things their own way. Even if the mother-in-law mean well and whatever. But the mother-in-law should also understand this. Because sometimes some of these mother-in-laws are very, very problematic. But some, to be fair, are very good.
In some instances, parents become overly involved in their children's marriages, leading to possessiveness that can strain the relationship.
No matter how much you love your son, you must allow him to run his home. Even no matter how much support you are giving him to succeed in his marriage, you must allow him some space because he's become of age. Some mother-in-law go to the extent of dictating to their son on how to give, what to do to the wife, how to manage the home, how to do whatever. If the woman is not doing this, please do this. And you get bad influence, bring bad influence into the marriage. Some mother-in-laws will visit without notice. They just bump into the house. Where are you coming from? I'm coming from the village. I just come to visit you people to see how you're doing. No courtesy, call, no nothing. Just come. And then what do you expect such a woman to do? The wife will be worried.
Maintaining a healthy relationship with in-laws is crucial for marital harmony. Here are some tips.
One of the important things to do as a prospective wife to somebody's son is to be friendly with the parents. Study them, see how you enter them, because if you are in love with them, whatever concerns you becomes their problem, and they will never allow their son to maltreat you. But when once you come in and take over their son and say, well, this is my husband, I don't care whether the mother, how the mother feel and all the what, it will give you equal dose of what you want, and that is not too good. Even the mother-in-law, you should know that through your daughter-in-law, you can get what you may not be able to get from your son.
In-laws play an undeniable role in the dynamics of Nigerian marriages. While traditional expectations persist, modern realities demand adaptability and open-mindedness.
If you are a woman, don't pray that your mother-in-law should die before you get in, because you don't want the trouble of mother-in-law. Because you too are a potential mother-in-law. If you pray that, and then it works for you, and then maybe your son wants to marry, and somebody pray that you die. You see that it doesn't make any sense.
Our focus on Weekend Deal today will be on the traditional role of in-laws in Nigerian marriages.
Thank you so much, Frances. What comes around goes around. Today you are young and you're praying that your mother-in-law dies, like Mr. Emekwe just said. Tomorrow you are going to be the mother-in-law to be, and one young girl is going to kabash and pray for you to die. So we should be careful of what we wish for. But what exactly are the traditional roles of mother-in-law, of in-laws, not just mother-in-law? NTA Enugu will tell us more.
Hey, beautiful in-laws. In-law. This is a color we are using to say you are welcome.
Ogom Malube, the traditional first visit to the in-laws after marriage, is a pivotal event that holds important significance in establishing a strong and harmonious relationship between the couple as well as their families. This visit is made by the bride's family to the grooms.
For the bride family to visit the groom's family as a means of internalizing their tie, strengthening their tie of marriage, the bride's family has to visit with keg of palm wine, good Igbo palm wine, then 4 big Igbo kola nuts. Now, what does this signify? It means the kola nut is a binding nut fruit that binds the two families. And whenever you break the kola nut, you find that it has so many splits with so many resemblances. Now, this split shows different people from different backgrounds coming now together in one knot, in agreement, in unison, to work as a unit.
We are happy you have now come to see the place where your daughter is being married.
Yes, sir.
So we are happy you've come. And then we are welcoming you and telling you that you are free to come anytime and then stay with us.
A visit to the in-laws holds some cultural importance in many societies, one of which is creating an opportunity for cultural exchange where the newlyweds learn a lot about their in-laws' customs, traditions, and values.
When you have a family, you know, it's two people coming together from different cultures. But this visit offers them a kind of forum to look at their cultural differences and then begin to blend, not just the bride and the groom, but the entire family. So that's why it's very, very important, because it offers the forum for blending, for unity, for relationship, and it shows acceptance. You know, this family has really accepted the other family.
In the contemporary Igbo society, the tradition is still valued. Its implementation has become more flexible and adapted to individual circumstances.
Yes, people still do it now in Igbo society. Even as it is now, in this modern time, it is very, very demanding. It's highly expensive. Most groom's family who have money and the bride's family who have money, they go a long way making it an elaborate society occasion.
While in modern times, the necessity of waiting until the Omugo period, that is the traditional Igbo postpartum care period, to visit the in-laws has evolved. Due to flexibility in timing, modern couples may choose to cancel Omugo visit or any other visit because of various circumstances.
The Omugo period is exclusive to the mother of the bride. It's not extended even to the father. So the Omugo is quite exclusive. That is why men complain that the woman goes there to eat from the hands of their daughter. When she comes back, he comes back with a snap and a walking stick. So meaning that if I drink and get drunk, I will use the walking stick to help myself.
Wow, the role of our in-laws, right? And were we to harness our extended family well, it would be a plus for certain that the love and the sharing will continue on the more expanded territory. Well, we have people who have been doing it for a long time, talking to couples before they get married, when they are married, you know, getting them to understand what the union really, really means. We're mighty glad to have them with us today. In fact, they are family members. They've been here before. Today, we glean again, you know, from expert advice they'll be sharing. Let's meet, greet, and welcome Dr. Emeka and Mrs. Chiado Inegbu. Doesn't end there. They are married counselors. And they are doing it assiduously on a regular note. They're the head premarital counseling program for the Family Worship Center worldwide. We see their profile, we get to meet them.
You're welcome to the Weekend News Studios. Yes. Okay. I'll start with Lolo. You know, that's what we call you, right? She's our Lolo. It's good to have you back, and you look beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
So, as a young woman marrying, what were your expectations of your mother-in-law? Were you worried? Okay, how was it meeting her when you were taking for introduction? How was it? So let me start from there. How was it?
Okay, I think I was actually looking forward to it.
Oh.
I know my mother and my grandmother had a good relationship.
Okay.
So I was actually looking forward to a good relationship with my mother-in-law.
Okay.
And I remember very well the day he took me to the house. And she was very excited to see me.
Okay.
Being the last born of the family.
Oh,
so
the baby of the house. You went and took the baby of the house. You can't mind, though.
Yes. She was very excited because we were in the same school. I think there was a time he was very ill. He wasn't eating, he was not supposed to eat oil.
Okay.
So I was cooking. I'll cook without oil and give him. So he went and told his mother. So he was very looking forward to
the
seeing
mother was
me.
expecting. Oh, that's so
It's great to
sweet.
see the Nigerian woman that has mastered the art of cooking without oil. That ought to be in the Guinness Book of Records.
Honestly,
you
that's
know that it's
beautiful.
being spread out there for health reasons, but many of us are yet to master it. I can't wait to hit the ground running with Dr. This is such for us, when your hands are clean, they say you can eat with elders.
Oh, yes.
It's a very interesting convo. But we know the word out on the street. The street is not friendly with this topic because some people have had, in their own words, some not very
Pleasant
creative experiences. They say they went in with best intentions and they were burned and are still being burned till tomorrow. If somebody, a lady is going to meet her in-laws for the first time, we know the trepidation often is with the mother. Especially when the girl is going to meet her husband to be his mother. If they don't bond that day, there's like half of the plans will just be going backwards. So there's some trepidation. But what ought to be her countenance? Should her groom-to-be let her into some family treasures and secrets?
Okay.
She too, irrespective of status, job position, age, because it doesn't still change. You should humble yourself. I have a case, sorry to go further, I have a case where a firstborn girl was marrying a lastborn son. Mommy and daddy's boy, auntie's boy, family's boy. She too, everybody's girl. Brilliant, ingenious, high-paying job. So you can imagine how she went there. They met in the foreign land, foreign school. And I don't know, it does seem as though she wasn't prepared. Though she grew up in Nigeria up to a point, but tell us.
Okay, so very interesting and exciting topic. And I'll just write off what my wife had shared when she started because he answers to this question you just asked. The most important component here is the man already knows the mother. You know your mother. Like you mentioned, it is important you also let this other woman you're bringing in into some secrets. Tell this woman, this girl you're bringing to your mother, who your mother is. What's your mother's perception of dressing? What's her perception of women? What kind of topics will interest her? Make it easy. If you do not let this girl that you love so much, you want to marry, and you want to make a positive impression with your parent, and you do not let her in, she's going to make a mistake. For instance, we are very cultural in Nigeria. If you're taking a wife to go and meet your mother, who is highly religious, that means that you need to tell this girl the kind of dressing she has to wear. Just let her in on some secrets. How do you greet? If a girl comes in and no matter what background she's from and stretches out to shake your mother's hand, when your mother expects her to kneel, you're already setting her up for a failure. So let her into some secrets. Even for the other way around, if a woman is taking the man to her own parents, let him into some secrets. And that is what we say. There must be conversations. What level of openness, what level of background preparation are you doing to bring these two families together. We must remember that marriages are between families, not just the two people in love. So start them up well. So let them into some secrets. The illustration you gave is a very good one. Now, this is who this lady has been. She's been there for everybody. The one who stands and carries everyone on his shoulder. And this man is the baby. He's the last, but he's a man. So everybody has supported him. If they do not have a conversation and have a good understanding of their backgrounds, they're going to have issues even with their families. Because everybody else is going to expect this lady to continue to carry her own part of the family, and his family will begin to see her as a threat. She's coming to show that she's a man. Meanwhile, she's been this all her life.
All her life.
So you must have open conversations to make it easy for your families.
Okay, but again, Chief, I'm still coming back to you. And,
Yes, please.
Again, I will also be writing off what you just said. Yes, I agree that to make the ground softer for who is going to be introduced, there will be
wet the ground.
Wet the ground. Information should be, but again, the place of keeping it real. Say you are a woman who all you like to wear is short knickers. I'm laughing because it's summer. All you want to wear every day is a bomb short, and then they say, okay, wear this long gown, do this, go there, and after it. After that introduction, you go back to who you are. A lot of mother-in-law will say he has changed. When she came to, where is the place of keeping real in the premarital thing, so that you don't get married and then they say she changed and they begin to hate you? How do you keep it real? Okay. I don't know. Or should the son-in-law have conversations with the mother?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It is that open conversation that I'm talking about. It is not a one-way thing. No, having said to your mother, this is my girl, this is where she's coming from, and all she's known is to wear bomb shots. Because that's her upbringing. And her parents and all she has known, there doesn't see anything wrong with that. If you have accepted this woman for who she is, also tell your mother, this is the woman I want to marry, this is how she dresses, this is her culture, this is what she knows. Have open conversations so nobody gets a shock. Nobody gets a shock. You know how to look at each other and accept the person even before the person gets into the space. It is where you leave it to chance
I have a problem.
that you can begin to now say, this woman is disrespectful. For instance, we're Nigerians, we intermarry. If you take somebody from the north to the east, or you take a Yoruba girl who's used to, going on her knees to greet, or a Yoruba mother-in-law who expects a daughter-in-law to greet, and then you're marrying this girl who you brought from Italy. She doesn't know it. She doesn't know it. So she's not going to pretend. So she doesn't go on her knees that day, or she goes on her knees because out of courtesy, and the next day she doesn't. So you must have that conversation and know what to expect. Expectations are important to be discussed.
Interesting. Before Lolo comes in, there's one fact we all know. People are difficult generally. We have good people and difficult people. And these difficult people grow to become in-laws. The big question here is, how do you handle difficult in-law? NTA Ibadan is up next. Tell us.
Marriage goes beyond the joining of a man and a woman as husband and wife. According to the tradition of Yoruba people of southwest Nigeria, when you get married, you are also married to members of the extended family. In view of this, it is expected that in-laws known as Ano in Yoruba land should be respected.
You have to respect all the in-laws, whether a youth, middle-aged, or even people who the bride is older than, because Yoruba say 1,000 husbands marry one wife in the Yoruba culture. That is, in English language and culture, it is called in-laws.
As the couple relates with their in-laws, they discover that some of them are very difficult to deal with, and this can lead to serious conflicts if it is not properly handled.
In the area of communication, the issue of language now comes in here, where we have the mother side, being a pure Igbo, and they have not even gone to school. So if the new wife now comes in they may decide not to be speaking in their own dialect, and the bride now will be in a dilemma of understanding what they are saying.
There are usually signs that some in-laws will be difficult, and if they are identified early, necessary steps can be taken to avoid conflict.
Our youngsters, men and women, must be taught to return to the old culture of courtship, because it's during courtship that the future husband and wife will study and know the wrongs, weaknesses, and strengths of the future partner. It is then you can correct and regulate.
She's a type of mother that is overprotective. She used to protect her son. Please, if you know you cannot really stay in that marriage, or let me say, if you know you cannot cope with such, you need to quit.
However, when rancor occurs with in-laws, the parties concerned must reflect on what their role should be and be intentional in carrying out such roles so that peace can reign in their home.
Don't sacrifice your mom to please your wife, neither must you sacrifice your wife to please your mom or family.
You try to control your emotions by being silent at times. Depending on the number of minutes you use, when you are silent for about 2-3 minutes, you see that the whole thing will be coming down, and before you know it, you forget about that.
The issue of strained relationship with in-laws is not limited to Yorubas. It cuts across all tribes, and as such, there is a need for those having such an experience to appreciate one another and join hands to build a family that radiates love and joy.
Difficult is as difficult goes, really, because one person may perceive somebody as difficult. Someone else may say he or she is very open. I like the fact that they hit the ground running and they tell you like it is, you know. Some people say, I like her or I don't like her because she keeps it too real. But all of that, we have experts in the house who will be talking about all of this. And we can't wait to continue. Well, our last guest has joined us. He is also a family member, Imam Shuaib Agbarere Mustafa, the Chief Imam Peace Court State Mosque, Lokogoma here in Abuja. His profile will usher him formally into our discourse.
So good to have you back in our studio.
Thank you so much, my family member.
Yes, so our family member. And you look great, sir.
Thank you so much. I'm good.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you.
It's obvious.
Happy New Year.
So tell me.
Same here. My person.
So she's your
together.
person.
No, I say we are family.
We are together.
She's your person,
One big family. You are my personal person. My PP. Thank you.
Okay,
Good morning.
So, yes, good morning. The conversation actually started yesterday. We've dovetailed into the traditional rules of in-laws. But yesterday we talked about when you're marrying, what should your emphasis be, for money or for love? And we had all manner of conversations and perspectives yesterday. We want you to start from there to tell us, Islamically, what is the injunction when you're marrying? What should you consider most important?
Well, I don't need to beat about the bush in hitting the nail on the head. There is no consideration for any other thing in Islamic perspective rather than first love. Money is not a consideration in marriage or in any relationship, because monies can come and can go, but the couple will remain forever if there is love. So that abiding love should be the rudder that will stabilize the movement of the marriage from the cradle to growth and till eternity.
Islamically,
Islam gives consideration to another thing. That is religion. The Prophet, I will quote one tradition of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that where he said that tunka maria li arba, they marry women for 4 things. He said limalia, if she is worthy, li hesabia, our family background, li jamalia, our beauty. People will say, yes, I want beautiful woman. Yes. Now, finally, he said lidinia, our religion. He now said all those those qualities, they are good. But he said, please, whichever one that you're taking in, try to also align it with religion, with faith.
Faith.
Yes. Marriage without faith will always fail. You understand that? You need to have the fear of God.
Yes.
If your husband is the one that, having married you, is still going about doing chuku here and there, yes, it means he doesn't have the fear of God in him.
Yes, true.
Because adultery is what is prohibited, both in Islam and in Christianity.
Okay.
So that fear of God
must be there.
That's why they say that at the zenith of the, what do you call it, of your wisdom should be the fear of God.
Okay.
So I would say that marriage is founded upon love.
Interesting.
The foundation of love and faith and religion. That is fear of God.
Good one.
So that is the issue of money. Money, like I said, is paper. Money is paper.
Okay, Imam,
Money
very
na
interesting
water.
perspective.
Yes, na water, thank you.
You know, you are speaking from what, you are saying it here in Weekend Studio.
Yes.
Out there on the street, it's another reggae.
Yes.
You know, that may be how it ought to be.
Yes.
Is that the way it really
Practically,
is?
yes.
Right now, the grammar we're hearing, am I going to eat love? But what happens when, because I hardly know of a love that can triumph without financial support. Are we now saying, and you also mentioned adultery, you know, what if one party chooses to be on the road? He's responsible for his actions. That's up to him.
Yes.
It's not binding on the woman has chosen how she wants to be. Or if it's vice versa,
Yes.
the woman has chosen how she wants to be.
Yes.
It's not binding on the partner.
Yes.
You be where you want, how you want.
Yes.
But let us bring those two together.
Yes.
How do you expect either the man or the woman to propose love, to enjoy love, and not to bring in finance? What we learned from some young people even yesterday was, and a reverend and then one of our big aunties was that there should be a conversation. He has followed it up today, even without being a part of the show yesterday. There should be a conversation. How can you tell me you love me? You don't tell me how we eat, what your plan for me is, where you want to place me, assuming the lady is not working. Like most people are marrying young now, especially in Islam. Muslims, they marry as young as 20, 21, 22. The lady is barely out of university. So what happens in such a situation?
Yes, thank you. And that is a beautiful question. Let me start from, number one, the perspective of potentialities. If a man approaches a woman, a lady, I will even bring it down to my own experience as opposed to when I married some 24 years ago. Now, I had nothing then, but I was called to the bar, and my certificate that I hold was very dearly to me. I believe this is my ticket to meal. This is my ticket to greatness. This is what will propel me to earn money and to be fine. Today, the woman is enjoying.
Okay.
She might be watching me. She said, that is my man.
Hello.
She said, that is my man. Then I had nothing. In fact, some of our friends were telling her then that I had this ugly guy. No, I'm only saying it because we're just coming out of
school, looking.
Having sojourned, in fact, I can see
I want to jump in on this one. Because this is very typical.
Yes.
This is very typical. That's how our story is also.
Yes.
You see, to answer the question and then right off the back of what he said.
Thank you.
A man can be nothing today, but he has value. He has something, he's going somewhere. And he has potential. And then he says to a young lady, come with me on this journey.
Yes.
I may not have the money right now, but this is where I'm going to. And they both agree to start at the level where they are at that point, which is also our story, which is what he's talking about. He found a lady who was willing to start with him small. And over time, they have grown and they have become better, and we are enjoying. But we didn't arrive like this overnight.
So that's
tell the in-laws, though. It's the in-laws you will tell, but that's our focus.
I think if you have
Yes.
a lady also,
Yes.
No,
the
it's like
in-laws.
yes, you can also say something. You know, there's a key word there. They had a conversation.
Yes.
We had a conversation, and I told him, okay, like, what's your 5-year plan?
Wow.
Yes, what's your 5-year plan? You know, and I saw the potential, and I agreed. But today, there usually no conversation. The woman doesn't know where she's going to.
And the man has no clue where he's going to.
You know, because if you tell a lady, this is where I am, this is my reality, but this is where I'm going to, a lady will follow you. But if there's no clear road, a lady who knows what she wants, I have to put it, a lady who knows what she wants. But usually these days, they are planning a wedding.
Not the marriage.
Not the marriage. They don't know that after wedding, you need to eat. You need to clothe. You need to do so many things.
No, I'll get there. I'm driving to that area.
So that's the problem today. If two people can sit down and decide this is what they want in life, they will make it.
But take us to the role of the in-laws.
Okay.
Because you have had the convo, you have agreed. Let's go back to that first-born girl, last-born boy. You've had the convo. Your certificates have been called to the bar. Hello? You were called. Were your in-laws called?
Okay, let's talk about the in-laws here now. Let's use that illustration you gave about the in-laws. You see, where a lady knows that all this man has got is his certificate, his degree certificate, and does not communicate that to her parents, there will be faulty and false expectations. The parents, the girl's parents, in-laws will begin to expect this young man to begin to do what he may not be able to do. And if the girl had also very big ideas, and then again, I think it's something that is changing. 2-3 generations back, parents used to bring up children and begin to expect that when they marry, the children will take care of them. I have no plans for my children to take care of me. We're going to make and have enough money to support them. And not have them take care of us. I'm sure you're not planning for your children to send you food.
You're changing the narrative.
We're changing the narrative.
But if they were to wish to and want to...
If they want to, it's my responsibility to... You see, even my own Bible tells me if the parents leave the inheritance for their children's children, I'm not expecting my children to leave anything for me. I want to be... In fact, I remember the stories I've heard about my late father-in-law, who used to travel to the cities where the daughters are. He will arrive at the hotel, sit in the hotel, and let them know I'm in town. Do you understand that kind of concept? Not the one that mama will carry bag and arrive and knock on the door and just say, I have arrived. In fact, if you have conversations as young couples as you're starting, you should tell yourself, see, this is who we are. We may not be able to accommodate our parents to come and just dump on us, but we will love them from far. This is the little we can take to our parents on a monthly basis. We'll support them with this. This is what we can do for them. But we will tell both our parents, nobody is going to come in on us unannounced. Tell your parents, I will tell my parents. Not the other way around. I won't be the one telling her parents. She won't be the one telling my... I'll go tell my parents, see you, we live in a 1-bedroom flat. We will not be able to accommodate you now. Give us time. Give us 2-3 years. But the little we have, we will send to you on a monthly basis. Don't come. Send us food if you can. Send us money if you can. Send us help if you send us advice. But don't just come into our home.
Pray for us.
Pray for us. Just like the man who spoke earlier. The man said something very key, which is, if your parents are coming into your home as they wish, they'll be telling you how to run your home.
Okay.
Allow these young couples to make their mistakes and learn.
Okay.
From
our convo, like I said, the studio it's not hot too. It's just warm. But something tells me it's going to heat up just a bit when we return from this break. Now, Nigerians are also marrying outside our shores, not just outside our states, south, east, west, north. They are going global. What happens when your in-laws are coming from Brazil, United States, or the United Kingdom? We'll talk more when we return. Our second break on Weekend Dealers now. Stay with us.
Why do we have to arrange all the goodies into a tower? We should all take what we want, as we want, and when we want.
From Pets, it's important to secure the goodies and protect them for everyone. We want to make sure there's enough for everyone, even on a rainy day.
I don't see the point.
Oh no! Our tower! No! From Pets!
Oh, sorry.
This is a perfect example of how one poor choice can bring down something so great.
And our one small good action can make a big difference.
Remember, everyone, let's focus on making the right choices and doing small acts of goodness. Together, we can build something even more magnificent for everyone and ensure that it lasts.
From the Atlantic across the savannah to the Sahara, we raise a land of the free, we know they tire. We dream great, our spirit is undying.
Resilient, rooted like palm tree, we sway in colors, with undying demand, we bet solutions, we ignite passion, yeah. Each ethnicity is unique, we have more than just a nation.
We are Nigeria, strengthening unity, we know they carry lives. We are Nigeria, together live the dream of a land with great destiny. We are Nigeria.
I am the real Nigerian. Brought to you by the National Orientation Agency, NOA.
I think Amaka should just move out of the house. Yes.
No. Sending her out of the house is not the right thing to do.
Oh, there you go again with your sentimental family stuff.
Baby, if our aim is to stop this affair, it is best achieved under our roof.
You do something terrible and you'll be acting innocent.
What are you going on about?
Don't ask me that question again. You couldn't even control yourself in the presence of our visitors.
What are you accusing me of, woman?
My son, I don't know how serious you are with my daughter, but there's something that needs to be done urgently before you move any further.
Anything, just anything, just say it. I'm ready to do anything.
There is a spell that needs to be removed.
A spell?
Family forever. The story of our lives.
This Sunday, Venezia.
Oristagno into Zampano!
Inter Milan.
Marcus Thuram, this would kill it off!
Venezia versus Inter Milan. Live on Sporty TV.
SportyBet sponsors coverage of the Italian Serie A.
Good morning.
Good morning. Why is your sun shining like this?
Can't you see that Hamatan season is here? We need to protect our children from this dry weather.
What about the invisible germs?
Invisible germs?
During Harmattan, it's not enough to only protect your skin. You also need protection from these invisible germs. To protect our families, we use Dettol.
Harmattan season brings a lot of germs, but Dettol with Germ Defense gives protection from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Be Dettol sure.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, it is your favorite weekend show, Weekend Deal, and today our focus is on the traditional roles of in-laws. Now, in the in-law wife-husband relationship, what should you look out for? What are the red flags? NTA Kano will tell us.
Marriage is a culturally and legally recognized union between two individuals known as spouses. In-laws, on the other hand, can play a significant role in marriage by offering emotional support, fostering family unity, and providing guidance. However, their involvement can sometimes create tension if boundaries are not clearly defined. Excess interference or influence over the couple's decisions may lead to conflicts, potentially straining the marital relationships.
Yana iya sa aure ya rawa. Yana iya mai ake cewa
It could make misunderstanding between married couples and also lead to hatred and contempt.
yana iya haifar da gaba ma da ƙiyayya tana iya shiga.
The man is at the middle, trying to pay the needs of his mother and his wife too. So the issue is, before getting any relationship, one has to scan the relationship. Like in the case of daughter-in-law, before a woman gets into any relationship deeper to the time that the issue of marriage will rise, she has to scan the family she's getting in. She has to scan the family she's getting in to know the in-law she's meeting and her likes and her background and her values. Likewise, a husband, before he gets any married, he has to scan how could he relate between his mother and his wife.
When the couples are matured enough, I think they should handle situation by themselves. Some parents who are not godly, they always tend to advise their children in the wrong way.
How can couples effectively address these challenges?
Always trying to manage it by being patient and praying to God to give me a patient heart. Because they are my in-law, they are part of my wife. So if I attack them, I am directly attacking my wife.
Everyone has to tolerate the other. And there must be information, they must have a good communication between them.
Be patient and be calm to talk to your husband about the situation, giving you reasons why you acted the way you acted. Because if that is not done, telling people outside instead of solving the problem will rather increase the problem. Because by the time you started sharing it out to your parents, to your siblings and in-laws, they will start seeing your husband with that eye that he didn't do well to you. And some, instead of them hearing from him and hearing from me to balance the situation, they goes on taking sides from the first person that reported the issue to them. Then that's where, instead of the problem getting solved, it will now become worsening.
In recent years, conflicts between married couples stemming from in-law interference and third-party involvement have become increasingly common. While some level of involvement is necessary to maintain strong family bonds, overstepping these boundaries can disrupt the harmony of the marriage.
Well, NTA Kanu, thank you for delving into that area. And Irina, we talked about red flags, green flags, white flags yesterday. And it's all about the flags. I remember Patience also saying yesterday that it is better to be miserable in a Bentley than to be weeping in a keke. And I tell you the fact, I've seen many a woman weeping in the keke.
Right.
I've hardly seen some people crying in the Bentley and all of that. Perhaps they do cry. But the way they use the hanky, maybe it's the Louis Vuitton hanky, they just dab.
I to be okay,
You know,
the
none
AC
of
will blow. The AC will blow, and they'll be fine. Put on some powder and they are good.
Nigerians, we are not laughing.
That's
We're not laughing, but I'm just imagining what it's like. If you are down on your luck, no resources, the tears kind of flow faster. But we did agree we'll take some messages. Let's see how they are keen into our convo and where we can direct our analysis to it. Good morning to our anchor ladies and our guests. I was listening, I was watching when the premarital counselors were speaking. I have an issue with my wife. She would tell her mom not to call or not to pick my calls anymore. And my mother-in-law never cared to call or to ask about me. Maybe because my wife was the breadwinner of the family. Is that right? We had issues for over 3 years. To the moment my mother-in-law did not deem it fit to call me or it was like I was dead to them. We finally separated last year. We are both Muslims. Is that a good mother-in-law? Well, I wonder. We're both Muslims, so maybe we'll need to have Imam come in a little on this, okay? Someone said, Ayodele from Warri says, the major problem we have in marriages today is the white man's culture, where marriage is done without the family members. Some we meet each other without knowing them, so the next thing we hear that they've already done the court wedding. Why are you coming to tell me when you've already gone to court? What do you need me to do? You've already married her. You've already married him. I think we need to follow our traditions and our customs. Someone said, I love this program. God bless NTA. I am learning. Let me take one more. Dr. Emeka, I appreciate your lecture. I have a case on my own side. For me, I've not yet married her. And his wife is also there. I've not married her. I heard about your story. Your own is good. That is not how mine is. I loved my girlfriend. She loved me. We began dating. I was about to take her for introduction before I found out that she was already pregnant. So we didn't get to see the families eventually. Now she has given birth to a baby boy, and I thought this would help families reconcile. The problem is, my parents are against the relationship. They're like, what kind of background are you telling me about this girl? We don't want anything to do with that. And our family is upset. Our daughter has a son for you now. Why are you still pushing us out? Uncle Mike is reaching us from Boko in Benue State.
Boko, Benue State. I think you should respond to the first one.
Okay, the one about Islam.
The one about Islam. The mother-in-law does not relate to the son-in-law. Why is it?
And now they have separated. The wife was the breadwinner. He was having financial setback.
Yes, this in-lawship.
Yes.
In Islam, just like how we have it in other cultures and religions, is very, very sacrosanct. Without having an in-law, you can't have a good marriage. Now, if you have a mother-in-law that is always infiltrating into the homes of the couple, is un-Islamic. You allow them to flourish in their marriage. That is what the religion is all about. Allowed because you have had yours. And the problem we always have nowadays is that, especially mothers-in-law, they want to intrude, they want to know what is happening in the homes, especially if the mother-in-law, I'm a woman, and my mother-in-law, she wants to know, what are we eating in our house? What are you cooking for your husband? Islam doesn't want that. It doesn't want you to long throat. Have your peace, let them have their peace. And vice versa. As men, fathers-in-law, they have their problems they are facing. They don't always look back. Immediately they give out the children, or they marry, they say, yes, peace be upon you. But those mothers-in-laws, I can't say that they should allow peace to reign in the homes of the couple. Because
but this man is saying that because his mother-in-law did not step in, that his wife drove a wedge between him and his in-laws, that when they were having issues, he expected the mother-in-law to call and hear from him. Apparently, he was hearing only one side.
That is about conflict resolution. Yes. Mothers-in-law, in-law generally, they have a role. The role that they have. I'm talking about the positive roles now. The roles they have is to stabilize the marriage. Because they have gone through that route before. As they have gone through it, what they saw, how they navigate, how they move to the success to the point that they are also now marrying out their own children, or they are marrying into their own house. So it is incumbent upon them to help these young people. When you notice that there is a faction, or there is a dispute, or there is a seeming misunderstanding between the couple, invite them, especially mothers. They are close to the family. You know, immediately they marry out, the mother at times they will call it their daughters. What is happening in that place? I hope the man is good. If it's not good, don't say anything good, anything bad. Just try to come and say, Mr. Man, I want this, I want that. The same thing with the mothers-in-law in the home. Those people too, they are the closer people to the couple now. The mother-in-laws in the home, they are closer to the marriage. So they should be trying to know what they are going through and help them. What that man is saying is correct, or what that woman is saying is correct. The mother-in-law has that responsibility to help them stabilize their marriage and move on Islamically. And I'll give you an example of my mom. When my wife came on board, yes, I invited her at the time, and she came to our place. Though she mind our business, she never infiltrated into our. What she was doing is to help us take care of the children, our first child then. Each time we had problems, she would just call me. Kale, that is my native name. Kale, I don't want this woman to hurt. Please, don't do that to her. Because at times I will come in, I'll be begging, I'll be shouting. You know, I come maybe from court one day, and I took a lot of bells.
You brought it home.
I brought it home. You know, how you did yesterday is bad. And you see me, I will just turn another leaf, and the woman will begin to smile. Maybe what I did, she has noticed it. So that is a responsibility of a mother-in-law, a father-in-law.
A good mother-in-law.
You know, something very key here is there's a concept that is taught in premarital counseling, and it's not just for the people getting married, but to the in-laws now. Is that for every time your children are getting married, if they see that you're gaining a daughter to your side, from the woman's side, her parents should see that they are gaining a husband, a son. They are getting a son added to them, while the man's side is seeing that they are taking a daughter into their family. His mother could do that because she had accepted the wife he married
as a daughter.
As a daughter.
Yes.
So she could easily sit down and say, please now, don't talk this way. Speak slowly, speak quietly, so you can win this girl over.
Yes.
That's the role she was playing, because she had already accepted her as a daughter.
Yes.
And in trying to answer this question this other person asked, is the fact that the mother-in-law, who was not listening to him or calling him to check, had never accepted him as a son-in-law. So what was it? What was the reason? Maybe, like the story, you know, we don't have the full story. I heard you say that the lady is the breadwinner.
Yeah, they had issues, yes, so she took up the responsibility.
Chances are that the man is not, like they say, putting food on the table. Chances are.
That was it.
Exactly.
We said we had issues.
So nobody is listening to
Financial
him.
issues, yes.
He's not bringing value. So they do not value him. So they are not listening to him. And so it's not being so much about what the daughter is blocking. If the man is bringing bread, and he's covering his wing well, the mother-in-law will call him.
But let me have opportunity to talk to in-laws at all. When you counsel, is it the couple? Are you expanding to get to know their parents? Is there room for that?
By extension.
Okay.
By extension. Some of the key things we say to young people getting married is how to manage in-laws. Okay. And we tell them there are certain steps you begin to take before you even marry. For instance, if you have a young lady who is working and is already supporting her parents, and then a man comes in to come and marry this girl, you must encourage her to continue to. In fact, if they already know you, begin to add to what she's already given to her parents to increase it. So they'll say, this son that is coming will do us well.
Good one.
Let me chip in. Let me chip in there.
Good one.
You see, there is this adage in Yoruba language. They will say that ana iyawo buruku sefe, but ana buruku losoro. A bad woman is marriageable.
Yes.
And a bad man is marriageable.
Yes, a bad man is marriageable. Is marriable. But let me tell you, bad in-laws are worse. You can have your couple, your husband, and you turn her or him better.
Over,
Yes,
yes.
yes, you can. Yes.
You can rub off.
You can rub off. But when you have bad in-laws,
Wow.
you can't get it right.
Wow.
So this in-lawship we're talking about is very key. No, none of the couple fall from the Jupiter.
Yeah.
You have to see where, but you should also look out and know
Ask
where you are
questions.
marrying
Ask
from.
questions.
Ask questions.
Yes.
A young couple, young men should look out.
Find out
where
what is the
you
home
want to
of
marry
this
from.
lady coming. What is it like?
Also know the history of that father and the mother, the way they live together.
Very true. Very
If
true.
they are those people who live
Very
like
true.
lion and sheep,
It will come.
don't go there because it's coming to
It
your
will come.
house.
It's come.
It will
Wow.
come.
You will replicate it.
Whoa, you
Except
replicate.
if the
in your
person is willing. You know, when you identify there is a problem. Okay, so there are children who come from bad homes. Does that mean they won't have good marriages? So recognize that there is a problem. I am not coming from a healthy background. My parents were fighting like cat and dog. I recognize that there was a fault there because my father was not doing what he was supposed to. I will not be that kind of husband.
Yes.
Okay.
I
I will not be that kind of wife.
That is right.
I will learn from the mistakes my parents made, and I'll do things
Let's
different.
marry
Good one.
and see if we can even help them.
Yeah.
All right. So this is amazing stuff. This is amazing. Okay, but we're going to Calabar. Before we go there, I'm leaving a question for Chief. I'm leaving a question for young Emeka. And Imam, I'm leaving a question for young Mustafa. And the question is this: if you're going out with your mother and your wife, who is sitting in the front seat? That's when we come back. Wait, no. Wait, best. When we come back, it's for young. No, you are talking about. No.
Let's go to Calabar.
No, you answer this question as Chief. As serious. As young Emeka and as young
Mustafa, no problem.
Calabar, take it away.
No problem.
You are talking now as
In most cultures, in-laws play a vital role in providing emotional support to one another. In early stages of marriage, couples often go through challenges of adjusting to each other's habits and lifestyles.
There are times when there are issues. You notice that the in-laws come in to advise and then speak to the couples so that they will come together in peace.
Most society value greetings. The way and manner you greet them is also saved as a way that they value and cherish so much. So in nurturing a healthy relationship with your in-law, this cultural perspective has to be considered. Even dressing is also a very important part in nurturing a healthy relationship. Once all these things are embedded in you from your in-law side, they will really see and accept you easily in the family, and there will be a good relationship.
There is need to build a healthy relationship among in-laws. Certain strategies are required to foster understanding and cooperation.
We can build a healthy relationship with our in-law by maintaining an open and respectful conversation with them. With this, they will see the sincerity and they will see the openness. And another way of maintaining a healthy relationship with our in-laws is by involving them in family events. With this, they will see that they have been welcomed, they have been accepted, and the little tasks that you give to them, they will go all out to ensure that they deliver on those tasks.
To build a healthy relationship with our in-laws, we need love and understanding. We need to respect one another, tolerate one another, and I think forgiveness is paramount to build a healthy relationship.
While these relationships are important to the stability of family life, the effect of modernization has indeed had a significant impact on in-law relationships in Nigeria, leading to both positive and negative effects.
She used to go to her mother-in-law's place. She will cook for her, she will clean for her, and the mother-in-law will also come to her place, bring food. You know, they were a kind of together. There was this bond between her and her mother-in-law. But these days, you see some young wives who will say, I don't care. The mother-in-law will even come to the house. She's behaving as if she's not there. She doesn't care. There's no bond. There's no love, and all that. So I think in those days, in the olden days, it was far better than what we have now.
The key to navigating in-law relationships is to maintain open communication and set clear boundaries where applicable. In-laws should also strive to strike a balance between modernization and traditional values.
Building a healthy relationship in every sphere is so key. Nowadays, even in nuclear families, there's wahala, let alone the extended. You enter a nuclear family, the house is burning on a weekend. Can you begin to imagine what is happening in the extended? But that's why we're having this conversation. When the family is happy, society is blessed.
Yes.
Great things happen. Patience put an amazing question before that featured, before that journey to Calabar. So let's start with young Imam. Tell us, who will sit where and tell us more.
I will be diplomatic.
Okay.
I will tell that lady, this woman just comes to have little time with us. Allow her to feel like queen.
Oh.
You have me forever. I'll just tell my brother. If I would tell her to allow my mother to sit with me in front, diplomatically applying wisdom. Because that would be like in the state of quagmire. What will I do? I want to be touching my wife while driving. But that woman will feel, so I've lost this boy completely to this woman. So allow her. I'll just say, Mama, you come. So that is what young Mustafa would do. And that is what I do.
Wow.
My wife have me forever. But that woman only comes to seldomly take little of me. So let her enjoy little time.
That's why.
Okay, Dr. Emeka, take us there.
I think it's a very, actually, a straightforward answer for me. Is the fact that a wife that knows her place should not be threatened by who sits where.
Oh, wow.
A wife that is assured of her place, her role, and what she occupies in my life should, even on her own, ask Mama, where do you want to sit? You want to sit in front? That will make that woman feel like, oh, really? I am this. And by the way, there's another way this same wife can also make it happen. Mama, sit at the owner's side. Let us carry you like the queen you are. So it is presentation and how you deliver it. But a wife who knows her place should not see it as a contention. But then there's something I also try to say to young people and even to in-laws. The worst thing to have a man be is in a position where he has to choose either the mother or the wife. It's a very difficult place to place a man. And I say to everybody, and I say to in-laws, I say to young people, and to the women particularly, never get to a point where you put your man in a place where he has to, either your son or your wife or your husband, where he has to choose either you or the mother, or either the mother or you. It's a difficult place for a man to be. Avoid it as much as possible. So make it easy for your son, make it easy for your husband. Never put him in that place. Because either way, he's going to get hot. He chooses his mother, he has problems. He chooses his wife, he has problems. So never put him in that
state of quagmire.
No. We talked about in-laws from outside our shores. We've talked about different roles that in-laws play. What we've been experiencing here in the nation. When they come from outside our shores, what happens? How ought we to comport ourselves to receive them? And what notions oftentimes are they coming? You are counseling couples.
Okay, before they come into the shores of Nigeria, already we know my son is dating an Italian, or a Brazilian. I should have that understanding, So we should have an open mind. Okay, for example, my son is schooling in America, and tomorrow he tells me, "Mom, I met this Indian," or whatever. First of all, will I be happy? I don't know, but I'll go read up about their culture. You know, I don't think anything will surprise me. I'm talking about myself personally, and I'm encouraging everybody. When your son or your daughter is bringing a partner, have an open mind. Have an open mind. The way you love your child, remember the parents of that person love them, you know. And when they come and they don't, you know, practice what the culture, excuse them. There's no problem about it. It has nothing to do with, the most important thing should be, is my child going to be happy?
Oh, yes. Okay, now when we talk about in-laws, red flags and in-laws being difficult, why is it always mother-in-laws? You hardly hear of somebody complaining, my father-in-law. It's hard. If there's 100% complaint, like 98 point whatever, it's mother-in-laws. And the next one is sister-in-laws. You hardly hear of father-in-laws have been a problem, or even brother-in-laws. Why is it women all the time? Is it because they are the ones, because they can hit their tummy? I carried you for 9 months. I carried you for 9 months. Is it the owner? What is it about mother? I don't know. Let me even go. Yeah? Mom, tell me, why are women so entitled? Or should I say
That's
that?
the word. Yes, you have said it. I carried you for 9 months. That is part of it. Yes, you know, women can be very jealous. Women, we have a lot of things in our mortar that we are pounding. You want to tend for the family. You want to go out there and go and earn a living. But those people, women are working too. You're also working.
Yes.
But you have this tenderliness.
Yes.
And your own tenderliness can be very soft. Tender and soft. You can see that. They are close to the family. For the mother-in-law, who is the mother of the husband, she's saying that you want to take my place. This woman is coming to take my place. My son has been giving me 200,000 naira before. But this woman, many of them feel like their son is their husband.
Yes, it's true.
They want to see that their son is close to them. But somebody is coming to take that boy out. There is this rifle that will be there. For the mother that sends her daughter out, she will also be saying that, this boy is lucky as taking my daughter away from me. My daughter will not be close to me again. Maybe that daughter was the gist partner of the mother. You have separated them. She's feeling that pain where she is. So, and some of them will even say, this lady is the apple of my eye. Immediately the lady reports to the woman there. She will say, Kai, heaven must fall. Why do you want to kill my daughter? I didn't give her to you. And also, we should know that we should be very practical. They lose a lot of things. My mother lost me to my wife. I used to sleep with my mother those days when I was young.
Now another woman has
another woman is now with me. What I mean, I will be in her comfort. I will be with her. But now a woman is now having me day, night, and every time.
It's true.
Meanwhile, I also disengaged my wife from my mom.
Yes.
They were enjoying themselves before. She comes from their house culture to my own house.
Yes.
I try to supplant my culture on her. So those are the things that make women to be very, what do you call it? To be very
petty. Very petty.
Emotional about the issue of our in-lawship. So, and I agree with that. God created them that you suffer a lot. When you suffer to give it back to a man or to a daughter, and somebody now take that thing away from you, you feel it.
Dr. Emeka, tell me where love and emotional feelings get to entitlement and petty behavior. Downright petty behavior we are seeing today.
There's actually a thin line between this thing called emotional, let's even call it what it is, love for your children.
Yes, true.
If you're not careful, you cross that line, you cross that boundary and begin to be over-possessive.
So it's not intentional.
Some people actually do it out of love.
Yes.
They love their son so much, they want to protect the son from this woman. However, there's actually a solution to this whole thing. And it is the fact that every woman should try to build relationship, friendship with your mother-in-law. There are stories out there, there are examples that abound, where a wife prefers her mother-in-law to her own mother.
I was telling patients earlier.
There are women like that because they build some level of relationship and friendship with their mother-in-laws have become their gist partners.
Yes.
By the time your wife and your mother-in-law are friends, the man is in trouble. Anything they want, in fact, they will use your head.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Your wife will be telling you do this for mama. Mama will be telling you do this for your wife. You will just be okay. You deliver here. You deliver here. and you're happier.
Yes.
You're happier.
You're
So
always
the
happier.
trick is every wife should try to build friendship with your mother-in-law. Every son should also understand that you have a mother and you have a wife. There's a clear difference. There's a clear difference. Love them and love them in their special ways.
Lolo.
Yeah.
Weigh in.
I totally agree with all they said, but I have a tweak around it too.
Oh, okay.
Because of this mother-in-law issues, I know, that stories that we've heard. We never had that issue. I was very close. There are some things my mother-in-law told me today that I've not told my husband.
Wow.
Yes. There are some things when she came to spend some time with me, and how I'm very close to my children. I'm already, like I used to share with him, like when these children settle down, we need to turn the world. I'm already trying to create a life for myself with my husband. And when you're friends with your husband, the attachment
To your children.
to their marriage will reduce.
Yeah.
When I'll be busy touring all over the world.
When will you have time to?
Do you understand? Will I have time to come and be checking?
But that does not reduce the fact that you love them.
No,
at all.
Because I want them the same way my mother-in-law and my mother left us to ourselves. I have to leave them too.
Very good.
I don't even know their plans. They are Gen what, Seth?
Gen Z.
Gen Z.
Our children Gen Z. So I don't even know.
Millennials.
You don't even know whether they want you to come around.
Yes.
With the way the world is going.
True.
My son had already told me that he will get a robot that will take
Take care of all the things he wants in the house.
Do you understand?
You think this next generation will go to
Oh my
our
God.
Wuse market?
It's true.
Or all the local.
I agree.
They will
Things are
sit in their
changing.
homes and order food.
And do this
And do
food will
shopping.
come.
And they are doing it already.
And they're already doing it.
Yes.
You
So
think the
it's
children
not
of
gonna
the
be
Gen
the
Z
same.
people
This
will go to local
mother-in-law,
markets?
father-in-law is not going to be the same. My son is in school. You say, "Mommy, you call me too much." I cried, but I've grown. I don't care again. As in, like,
Yes. I don't know that
He
emotional.
said, how can I call you? How can you call me Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, every day? Class, my phone will be ringing.
That's our children for you.
That's
Yes.
a message.
Yes, it's true. It's a real life thing. I have
That's a
the same
message. So I'm
experience.
already,
Yeah.
and I'm telling other future mother-in-laws,
Yes.
let them be.
Let them be.
Build
Love them
friendship
from
with your
afar.
partner.
Yes.
So you have
Get
your
a
life.
Yes.
Do your women trips, sisters trip. Leave them alone.
Yes.
Very good.
Wow.
That's a
I
good
think
one.
There's also a generational thing that is changing.
Okay.
And we must also recognize that as we grow and evolve. Our parents, those of us sitting here, our parents had, their own parents will depended and relied on their children for sustenance.
Many weren't educated.
Many were not educated. I can tell you, today, abroad, when people get old, what do? They retire to homes.
And it's coming to
You know it's beginning to happen here.
Wow.
Of course.
Where we're now beginning to have the problem of who will take care of Papa or Mama in the village. Because there is nobody there anymore. In the next 10 years, are you planning to be taken care of somewhere? Wow. Or sitting there? I plan not for anybody to take care. I want to take care of myself.
Yes, I will add to that. You know, those which we live together in the
Communal living.
Yes.
It's changing.
Yes, I have my uncles, my wife
Siblings,
is
cousins,
also.
nephews, everybody's around
So,
you.
You see that rivalry. There will be all these contacts making will be happening every day. So much that you will be having the potentials of a crisis in the family. Your wife, my mother-in-law, she's also my cousin's wife, my sibling's wife,
your aunts,
my aunt.
Together.
So now we are seeing it. I'm far away from my village. I'm in Abuja.
Yes.
It's changing.
My mom is not here with me. My mother-in-law, she's also not here with me. You can see that there is this detachment.
It has changed.
So it's changing.
In the next 10 years, what will it be
get
like?
to a place, and that drives us. So what you are talking about, the diaspora in-laws, diaspora in-lawship, it will happen. It's happening here already.
It's already happening.
So we are getting detached. you see that there is more peace in the homes of the couple now, as against those infiltrations that we used to experience when we are living together.
See the word you use, infiltration.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
The period women stay for Mugo has reduced.
I can see that
Women
for sure.
don't even go and do 6 months. They do 2 weeks, they go
2
back.
weeks. My mother told me, you know, I'm a lecturer.
Oh,
I
yes.
can't stay as long as
Exactly.
So that's the truth.
Are you planning to go and sit down with any of them first?
Do I look like that mother?
I look like we're
that
talking,
mother?
and then we see you on the other side. Don't go away, okay?
Yes. So I went to my village the other time.
Wow.
And my
beautiful.
Yes, my wife was telling me, go and see my mom. Go and see my mom.
Well, creativity is so broad. I would say whatever it is that you're creative about, it takes a lot of practice before you become very good. So if it's something you intend to pursue, it's something you have to keep doing. You have to keep practicing. It's not going to be an overnight success, which a lot of people look for. But if it's something you're determined about, but the drawback rather, is that you need what is called staying power. While you're developing your creativity, you need to earn a living. So I know that's where the conflict usually comes in, especially with the hardship in the country and all that. But I think a lot of encouragement from the private sector to create incubator hubs. We've had some of those in tech. We need those across various sectors as well. Incubator hubs where these ideas can come in, be developed, be encouraged, be funded, and then we can expand it from there.
Content creation, while it may sometimes get a bad rap, I think it's actually very important because we have to see ourselves. We have to see ourselves living our lives. We have to show and share our stories. I think that's very important. Now, the job after that is to be able to digitize those stories into something that can provide data and insights, that can ensure that we can be able to support whole-scale industry in these spaces, to ensure that the amount of money that each content creator is getting exceeds what is currently happening for many content creators. The same content creator who lives in Nigeria will be earning less than a content creator who's living in the US or the UK or Japan. And we've got to also bridge that gap, because most of that is being driven by the ability of the consumers to pay for those goods, and also the pricing that many of these platforms have. So I think this is not the job for the content creators and the young people. This is a job for people like myself in the ecosystem who can help support the right pricing, to advocate for the right policies, to support economic development for consumers who want to consume that information and that content. And even beyond content creation, we're seeing that many people are stepping in behind the camera. They are producers, editorial, they are graphic designers, they are in technology, but maybe not in front of the camera. And what we want to say is also, we need those people too. We need those stakeholders involved. And the job of many policymakers, DFIs, is to ensure that the strategic investments get there, the collaboration gets there, and we're deliberate in how we're saying we want to support innovation in our continent.
There's an age group where your brain function is at its maximum, and that's the age group we call the youth, isn't it? So we need the youth, the younger generation, who have the energy, the imagination to be equipped with the proper education, the proper tools, the proper encouragement, and then take what innovation they bring out and turn it into mainstream developmental ideas. So you find a lot of things that are invented by people in school or straight out of school. We need our patent laws to work so that they can earn a living from their imagination. Once the imagination is just for a one-year festival or an event, then it's not worth it. Somebody creates something, we need to get our patent laws to work, we need to enforce them, and then the private sector can use those patents to develop things and encourage more people to be more creative. Back in the days, yes, you had to be an engineer, a lawyer, a doctor. Today we have programmers, we have AI specialists, we have people that are doing ethics on genetics. Those things didn't exist 50 years ago. So there are new areas that need to be explored. The question really, apart from the parenting, does our educational curriculum cater for what the needs of the world will be in the next generation, because our curriculum is dealing with the issues of the past. We need the government and the private sector to redo the entire educational curriculum to be forward-focused, not retroactive.
This Sunday, Venezia.
Oristagno into Zampano!
Inter Milan.
Marcus Thuram, this would kill it off!
Venezia versus Inter Milan. Live on Sporty TV.
SportyBet sponsors coverage of the Italian Serie A.
It's your favorite weekend show, Weekend Deal, and our focus today is on the traditional roles of in-laws. Well, of course, we have the classical Mama G and a mother-in-law. You know what I'm talking about? And then we have, of course, the kind, loving, and supportive mother-in-law. Whatever kind of in-laws you have, I think the best way to have a healthy relationship with them is to set good boundaries. But then that question is, how do you set boundaries without offending them? Whatever the answers are, we will be bringing them to the table. But first, let's relax. I mean, the studio is on fire. Let's relax with some music. It is time for Speaker Box. Let's do this.
When I see money attack. Whether or not the naira, whether or not the dollar, come me I go pull up with my spada. Oh shit, Peter Baga. Remy get me daddy soda. They spend the money on us and the ledger. Hey, try it, I'm down nigga. Can't see me, John Cena. And I go to na baba. Elu and na baba. Ose dollar na baba. Bayo ngule na baba. No baseki na baba. Uko apolo na baba. And Ojazi na baba. Many men deal with the band. Kolazama. I did money. I say na shaza. It in my body. Para.
City yomo kakao, kusebe kusi pantao, kakatao, so mind over matao. I give them different pattern, this is Latin. We body kuma kakao, we all be kele be bandu, kuma shatao. Energy or the nakao, energy. Go me jiggy. Oh jiggy, shiggy, I mean, CBD. Oh yeah, moonlight baker. How many if we don't drop shenka? Baby bend down, it's a Beckham. If your guy dollar, make you shenka.
I suppose she locates, but I go buy the shop. My money na alele, I apply pressure. But it's like she my palava, because for high tension. But you must apply your tea, because you must apply plenty. Mismanage my funds on you. All I really wanna do is mismanage my funds.
You know, what is so enchanting, oftentimes behind the scenes is a whole drama. It's a whole program on its own. I think a time will come, we need to package the behind the scenes and to make for a good viewing for our viewers. Let me take a few messages before we go through the dailies for today. Someone says, hello, Weekend Deal. And this is Anso from Port Harcourt. It says, the problem around marriages today is because both families are not ready to build homes. Most people are after what they will benefit. The boy wants to benefit from the woman. The woman too wants to benefit from the man. That's why we hear things like, what are you bringing to the table? And some parents have not trained their children. Sometimes it's the daughters. They are saying, well, how much is he giving me? You will hear when a daughter has an issue with her mother-in-law, with anybody in the family, she will say, how much does the man even bring? How does that come in? Anyway, answer from Port Harcourt. I'll take 3 more. Someone says here, good morning, NTA family. What if the two mother-in-laws visit the house at the same time? Omugwo case. Now, you know there's been fight. I think people do the Omugwo. How will the partners handle both? Keep that. We'll take 2 more. In a situation where your mother never called your wife, she doesn't even call her daughter-in-law. After the wedding, she just left. It's her son she relates with. She has never given advice about the couple, or even when they have children. She will just call and say, congratulations. And that's where it ends. You didn't tell us where you're reaching us from, who you are in this situation. But anyway, it's noted. And finally, my in-law. This is for national TV. Okay, and there's a situation from Cross River State where
you can't read it.
I'm going to euphemize. It's from Cross River, I would say that much. And there's an attraction developing behind the scenes. Someone is behind the scene. This is not the spouse, between the man and an in-law. And he's trying to say that it's the lady who is pushing it. And, he knows it's not right. But she's pushing him hard. And he's worried. No, not mother-in-law. No. The man of the house and one of the in-laws of his wife.
Yes.
He knows that it will be catastrophic any which way. Because the lady has already invested herself in it. But I'm told we must take our papers now. So let's hold this. So this will be the advice for the closing. Our dailies.
Our dailies. So, Barrister,
yes.
What paper do you have there? Let's see what you have and what the headlines are saying.
Yes, I have The Nation on Sunday with me here. And the headline is Federal Government States Set for Direct Revenue Allocation to Local Governments. That there is a dedicated unit opens in Accountant General's Office for disbursements. You know, there is this judgment of the Supreme Court that was delivered in July this year. Last year, so to say, to the effect that there should be direct allocation to local governments as against what was available those days. So this is what we have on The Nation as the headline, that it should be paid directly, and a dedicated unit has been opened in the office of the Accountant General's Office for the disbursement directly.
That's a beautiful one.
Yeah, that continues from the front page to page 4 of The Nation on Sunday.
Is there any story else you want to take?
Yes. There is
at
some.
The top,
yes, no. Beneath that.
Okay, beneath that.
The headline. TCM blames line tripping for power outage.
Oh, okay.
You know, yesterday we had what people
the
were saying
first
that there was
national
grid collapse.
National
but TCN are saying no.
Nothing collapsed.
It denies that nothing collapsed. The grid did not
good
collapse.
One.
Yes, that is at page 7.
That's the vote of confidence we need.
Then we have a bad one. A bad one. Honestly, it's somber.
Okay, thank you.
They say that 2 factory workers dead after falling into diesel reservoir.
That's sad.
At page 2. It's sad. So
because of time.
Yes.
Because of time. Yeah.
So,
thank
Chief,
you.
what do you have within there?
Okay, so I have the Sunday Sun, and a catchy headline here for me says, Southeast, outcry as roadblocks turn cash points. You can read more from pages 4 and 5. It says security operatives now lobby to be posted to the Southeast, tagged zone of land of milk and honey. You can pick it up, read it up, and find out what's going on our roads.
This milk and honey, it has a place in our lives. But let's see what the Sunday Sporting Sun is saying. I'll move quickly to the bold headline 2025. Bloody hot. Super Eagles, we trust Una now. This is not Lukman or Simel. It's Trustekong, the captain now. Himself is Sitan Gidiba. He says he's recorded several assists for his club. You know what assists are now? When you assist in a goal being scored. Several. So Nigerians are taking over. But Godwin will tell us more. We are at the peak of the program. Godwin, it's time for Sports Summit. Take us there.
To step in with a big... The lights are gone again! And he's down. His gloves touch the ground. The referee didn't do anything about it. He's down again. They'll call that a knockdown. Three rounds down, and Joshua's been down twice. These are remarkable scenes, incredible stuff. Dynamite performance from Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois knocks out Anthony Joshua.
Many times I've said I don't like boxing. First thing is, how should two people get in the ring and start fighting? Over what? Oh, there's plenty of money involved. That is, if you are fighting at this level. You just saw a man knocked down and lost completely. It reminds me of Muhammad Ali, the greatest of them all. May his soul rest in peace. He did say, once you are knocked down, what you see will be caskets everywhere, coffins everywhere. Before Jack Robinson, the counting would have been over. On this edition of Sports Summit on Weekend Deal, I want to find out from Nigerians. Imagine your brother, let's even say your friend, promised you so much money after a bout. In that fight, you were at ringside and he was beaten so badly. At the end of the fight, would you go to him to say, that money that you promised me? My name is Godwin Enakna. Thank you for joining us, Sports Summit on Weekend Deal. We'll take a break. We'll come back. There's still so much right here. Exciting comments I expect from the persons we'll be talking to.
Sometimes if you are asking people for money, it depends on what you want to use that money for. You know, for example, if the money is urgent, maybe probably something that I've been asking for long before that fight, then it can be reminding him before the fight and all that. And maybe closer to the fight, I might be reminding him. But later on, maybe he was able to engage in the fight and I realized what the outcome of the fight. Then, you know, being a human being as well, somebody that is being considerate and all that. And, you know, when it comes to your family, you be a bit emotional. So I think for that moment, you have to pend it.
If Anthony Joshua was my brother and he just lost a fight, and he made a lot of money now, but it's going to take a while before he gets better, obviously. But I will give him small time, then I will ask for money now. It's normal. He's my brother, for crying out loud now. Look at me, look at him. Don't even send him go the fight.
In that position, I can't ask my brother again because he has been defeated. So in that position, I have to wait until another time before asking for another thing from me.
As we talk about this topic, my mind goes to Anthony Joshua, a Nigerian who is from Ogun State. He was in Nigeria a few days ago where he met with the governor of Ogun State and, of course, our dear president. If he were in that position, what would he have done? Nigerians have spoken, and if it were Godwin Enakna, I will not ask for any cover unless he gives it to me voluntarily. On that note, let's say thank you so much for watching Sports Summit on Weekend Deal. My name is Godwin Enakna. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you so much. Our conversation is still on. We are rounding off. Unfortunately, I say unfortunately because honestly, I would have loved this conversation to really continue. And our wonderful guest will be giving us their last words. Thelma read a couple of messages, and then they're going to be responding to these messages. And I'll start with Barrister, Imam.
My last.
Yes.
Okay.
Keep it brief.
Yes, thank you. You see, we started the conversation in the beginning. I did not conclude on it. About this money or love. Yes, I want to say this from the religious perspective. Marriage has this potential of bringing fortunes. From the religious perspective, God wants marriage. Don't look at the man as he is now. Marry a man for love. Money will come. Quran says it that afanki ul ayyama minkum wasalina min ibadikum wa imaikum in yakunu fuqara yughnihim Allah min fadli. Marry, your choice. If they are poor, Allah will provide for them. God will always provide for family. Don't think that man doesn't have. If you marry, there will be the bountifulness of God provision over there.
Thank you.
Yes.
And for me, the comment on what are you bringing to the table, I think that question should change. And what we've tried to teach and to encourage people to do is to ask the question, where are you going to? What is your plan? Where are we going to? You can actually ask the woman that question, but the woman should ask the man the question, what is your 5-year plan? Rather than what are you bringing on the table? Because the question of where you're going to takes care of even the money and all the value you're bringing
and
together.
the tables that
people who are thinking about getting married should always ask themselves that question, what is your plan? Where are you going to?
Just like how your wife asks you.
Oh yes, absolutely. It works all the time.
And finally, we encourage families, orphans, their uncles should remember that God is watching. And finally, again, in-laws, mother-in-laws, father-in-laws, let's love our adopted children.
Yes, that's what it is. Yes,
and we'll be happy. We can actually be a happy big family.
Okay, that's beautiful. So I will still continue that. Well, in-laws remain an integral and critical part of our family dynamics. We cannot separate them. And so, in order, again, I'll say, create the right boundaries. Please, just create the right boundaries. Don't start what you can't finish. Keep it real. And it will be huru by God's grace. Thelma?
You know that whatever we sow, we reap. It's always better to sow kindness, understanding, wisdom. Even if the younger person is not acting the way you expect, you, the older person, the mother of somebody, carry yourself with that dignity. Let her be. She will eventually learn from the way you comport yourself and the way you carry yourself.
Yeah, it is Weekend Deal, and this is where we say goodbye. We love you. Thank you for being part of our conversation. Let's do it again next weekend. Yeah, let's be good mother-in-laws, daughter-in-laws. Don't pray for your mother-in-law to die. Hi, God, no. We say no. We say no. We say no.